episode 218. Already, man. 218. 2.5 years, right? We've been doing this. It's 2.5, not a year and a half. Well, I bet probably if I just do the math, you can't do 218 episodes in a year and a half. So 2.5 years of doing this here.
Twice a week.
Oh, man, shout out to everybody who used to be listening. We was giving y'all content twice a week. What was it? We were doing Mondays and Thursdays, right? Yeah, sure was. That was back when we were like super pro AEW, and E was still trying to watch NXT. It wasn't even Black and Gold. What was NXT like the silver? Like after Black and Gold, AEW beat them, and then Vince took it over and made everybody cartoon characters, and everything was colorful.
Yep, volume 2.
First thing Shawn Michaels did was go back to the. You know, NXT was bad when we popped for a logo color change. They ended the show. That was the main event for that episode when they changed the logo. That tells you. That's all you need to know. We gotta talk about some booking decisions too, guys, today.
That's cool. I'm down with that.
PWI came out. We gotta hit that. But it's up to y'all. We can either start with WrestlePalooza and the reaction to it. I think that was probably more entertaining for me than the show itself. And I didn't think the show was bad. Spoiler alert. But we can either start with WrestlePalooza or actually start with this John Cena AJ Styles match that they just announced 4 hours ago for Crown Jewel. Where y'all want to start?
Let's go with the WrestlePalooza. That's where we have to start at.
Yeah, I was hoping we can get E to say he wanted to hear talk about John Cena AJ Styles.
You know that wasn't happening.
He was just putting over AJ Styles, the GOAT, 2 weeks ago, and now he don't even want to talk about his GOAT. Because the guy who's most underrated because he's got to talk about John Cena. This segment's going to be interesting. All right, well then we can go with WrestlePalooza then. Let's intro the pod real quick. I said it's episode 218 of the TFW podcast, best kept secret in wrestling podcast. Today, I've already talked about my esteemed co-host. We got E over there. We got Rhodesia right there. Hey. You guys know me. I am your favorite talker out in these wrestling streets, Matt. And I want to get right into WrestlePalooza because Rhodesia said, let's start there. Yeah, I'm going to just throw it to you guys. What'd you think? There was a lot of talk online, just in case people who are not online somehow. You would have thought this was like the worst show. You would have thought this was a straight 2018, 2019 Vince McMahon-led WWE pay-per-view. The way that Virtue Raw was online. Now, maybe some of these people who trashed it was the ones that had to pay $30 because they don't have ESPN through any other type of way. Maybe it's them. Maybe it was because Triple H came out and said what to expect. And one of the things he said what to expect was surprises. And I think wrestling fans are starting to work themselves in the chute every single time somebody is talking about surprises because you automatically think of like The Rock, or I don't even know what else somebody else would have thought of that they would have got that upset. So that was number 2. And then number 3, it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. It was cool. Like, it was a solid show. I didn't think I wouldn't have went online and was like, man, this show sucked. This show was bad. Of course, we could nitpick it. I mean, I got some probably even bigger than nitpicks, but I thought the show was cool. What did you guys think of the show? And if you saw the online scuttlebutt, did you think the show was warranted that type of just anger?
Yeah, I don't know about that. Like, the show itself, when you go at altitude, maybe it was very disappointing, especially because it was the first show on ESPN. So the only other thing that we have as a reference would be the first night of Netflix. So I think maybe when you look at it that way, they just didn't compare. So I can see why somebody was completely let down. But even up until last week's show, when I was on here talking about, I don't even really know how to watch this, I was still confused. And truth be told, I'm still a little bit confused on what is going to be on ESPN and how that's going to look and how to actually access it. So someone like me, who is a wrestling fan, who watches episodic WWE, whether it's Raw or SmackDown or these PLEs, I don't still really know the next series of things is going to be on ESPN. So with that being said, I think that was kind of a breakdown there. Overall, it would felt to me like maybe a Saturday's night main event. I think that's probably what it felt like to me. And if that was kind of their goal, then they hit it. But that internet crowd, they made me, for a moment, I thought like I was stupid or stupider because I'm like, this show wasn't even that bad. I mean, you had a couple matches out of there that I thought was really good and to kind of take my breath away. It was a small card match. I mean, it's a small match card, like only 5, I think, matches total. So
Yes,
I
that's
thought
normal. That's the normal pay-per-view size for Triple H. He loves that
yeah,
5
right.
match range. Yeah, so that was no
Yeah,
different.
I'll call it Saturday night's main event. I'll call it that it was a letdown for it to be the first thing on ESPN, but
How
they
many
dropped the
S's you
ball.
gonna throw in there though? I let you get off the first time. I did. I just let you get off the first time. Come on now, like you going either put the S on Saturday or put it on nights. But you can't do Saturdays nights.
I still
Main
don't
event.
even know the name of the show, so we're just gonna go with
Saturday nights
SNL.
main event.
Oh,
Is what it is. It
SNL.
wouldn't be Saturday's night unless it was just Saturday's main event.
Well, it
Then
shouldn't even
that's
be.
where
It
you put
shouldn't
the
even
S
be
at.
Saturday night's main event. We were
Why
down
not?
this road 7 months ago already about this. So no, whatever is Saturday night main event, that's what it felt like to me. But again, we're talking about booking, and I was going to go into this a little bit later in the show, but I'll just bring it up now. When we're talking about there's a big show every 3 weeks, hell, we got Crown Jewel just 3 weeks away from now. You're not going to feel kind of that extra hurrah and excitement because as soon as you turn around, there's another big quote unquote show that's coming up.
Yeah, I want to give full disclosure real quick because I just want to say this up front. I really enjoyed Saturday, top to bottom. I watched AEW earlier in the show, and I thought that was a really good show. The Moxley and Darby match, that's not for me like that. I don't like none of that hardcore stuff. Like when there was a spot in there, I don't know if you guys saw, but I think it was I'm sorry, not Darby. I'm sorry, it was MJF. And
the tax
Briscoe.
match, right?
The
Briscoe.
tax match.
Tax and tables was it called?
Yeah,
it
that
tax
was early
and
in the
tables?
match. Yeah,
Okay.
Mox and Darby did wrestle, but I'm actually thinking about the MJF and Briscoe match. But there was a spot where MJF had some of the tax and he was pouring it in Briscoe's mouth. You know what I'm saying? And like I'm just thinking about like, yo, that's like going too far. Like this is a bit much. Knee hit him in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like mate, like tax down your throat. Like that just seemed like that's like a way too much to me, right? So like that kind of took me out in one part of the match. So like that's just too hardcore for me. However, take that match out of it. Really nice all out. And then he followed up with WrestlePalooza.
Real quick, so go back to All Out. I don't think I've seen a second of footage. I know who won. I haven't seen a second of footage. And maybe it's intentionally. Now I'm about to ask you this. Would you suggest, not me paying, $50 to watch it, but would you suggest me going back this week to watch that show?
No.
Got it. Okay.
I'll be honest with you. So when we think about the actual show and like what it is, all right, so you got people like, oh, I have to pay $30 for a WWE show, right? Now we've had $10 or less for a number of years now.
Decade plus.
Yeah, right. Now on the AEW side, we've been paying $50 for pay-per-view for quite some time. Now you're getting, 10 hours of wrestling for $50. Like right now, that's one thing. However, with me saying, hey, I wouldn't probably recommend you going $50 and watching the show again. But I really enjoyed the show. If I had to say which company won the night, I might give the edge towards AEW.
Hey, hold on a second, man. Hold on a second, baby. Let's get that thing going. Y'all heard what he said?
I might give it the edge because I would say,
get it?
Listen, if you listen to like the Scuttlebutt online, like you would think like WrestlePalooza is like one of the worst shows, as Matt said, but it wasn't that. I might say the shows I would say is about a B. Maybe a C plus B. I thought the overall show was some of the matches were a little too long, especially that mixed tag. That seemed like that thing was going on forever. I get they're telling the story.
I thought about you when I was watching the match. Bro. I was fine with it, but I didn't time it. I'm going to assume they worked more than 20 plus minutes in that match. We got to about the 17-minute mark just by me watching. I kid you not. I was like, oh, he's lost now.
You already know.
They lost.
You already know.
He is ready for them to wrap this up, B.
I'm like, wrap this up, man. I'm like, this is long, bro. And like, it's 5 matches, right? And they stretched, they put as many of minutes of wrestling into these matches as they could. And I just felt like, after watching, All Out, matches they're long and a little more fast paced. Like, right? And then there's some shenanigans in those matches, like shenanigans I don't necessarily like. But after watching all of that, then watching these 35-minute burners on WrestlePalooza, I'm like, oh, okay, right? But I wanted to address like the scuttlebutt online. I finally figured out what this is, right? Because we got Matt and Rhodesia. You guys are uber hardcore fans, and you guys relate to some of the crazy shit that we hear online.
They went 29 minutes and 18 seconds. 29
that's
the longest match of the show by 9 minutes.
By the decade. That was like an Iron Man match. That was a mini Iron Man match, goddammit. You know what I'm saying? That was almost an Iron Man match. But I finally realized what it is. I gotta burst the bubble when all these dramatic ass fans to talk about these shows. There was fundamentally nothing wrong with WrestlePalooza. For me, was it too long? Absolutely. Like, right? Was it predictable? Sure. But let's follow storyline. You follow storylines. You kind of, what happened is what should happen. Matt, we loved NXT Black and Gold. Like, yes, right? Sir. We loved the Black and Gold back in the day. But what I always say what was wrong with the Black and Gold, even though I loved it as much as I could, there wasn't enough umph. Like, everything made sense. Like, right? The people who won should win, and people who lost. The stories are easy to understand. They didn't kind of, they didn't insult your intelligence. Like, that's not what we're getting on these shows, but it lacked a little oomph to it. This has been Triple H's booking style for the past 10 years. Like, right? Easy to understand booking. It's very easy to follow, and what happens should happen. Every single match, if you look at who won and lost, it makes sense from a storyline perspective. Like, right? And if you want to get insider-ish as far as the Cody and Drew thing, okay, if you're going to have another match in 3 weeks, which I don't agree with, I think they should slow down some of these PLEs because they're not special anymore. Is this something else? Like, we're expecting another paper POE in 2 weeks anyway, right? But if you look at it, what looks better on paper? Cody versus Seth or Drew versus Seth? Heel versus heel in front of that crowd. And like, it kind of, what happens, it makes sense from a booking perspective and also from a storyline perspective. So with that being said, if we can't say like, oh, WWE is ruined. They've fallen off. It's going back to 2017, y'all. Like, it's time to make a change. They're not going to do that. They're making way too much money. The show's overall good. Overall, we can talk about the booking. That's what we do. We can nitpick booking all day long. But from a fundamental perspective, like the women's roster and storylines have never been as good as they have been in the past couple all year, I would say. Right? We had some lackluster women matches and stories for about 2 or 3 years since Triple H took over. It's some nice storylines happening right now. We can talk about Raw later on. But no, man, the sky's not falling in WWE. Now, is it kind of, it should be more eventful? Absolutely. Should that pay-per-view have been more eventful? Absolutely.
Well, I do want to talk about Triple H a little bit after this. So I pulled up the tweet. He was on ESPN on Friday, and his quote that had everybody in a tizzy online was, expect spectacle, expect surprises, expect to have a lot of fun, and ESPN is going to deliver. They damn sure had the spectacle. I think Brock Cena didn't even start till like 27 minutes into the show or something like that, which I love the video package they showed too. Thought that was really cool. Once again, that surprise piece, right? I think people are thinking Rock, whatever. We did get surprises. We got The Undertaker coming out as the American Badass. Like it, love it. You're used to it now. Whatever that looks like, that's a surprise. I mean, now Stephanie McMahon is going into the Hall of Fame next year. That's a huge surprise. So what I kept seeing a lot of on Sunday was, like, we got to stop falling for this. Triple H does this all the time. There was no surprises. There were no surprises. I don't think many people called Brock squashing John Cena. That's a surprise. Rhodesia said, mark my words, 36 times last episode.
Oh, what'd I say?
That Stephanie should not win the championship because she's dead in the water when she does.
No, please, no, use my exact wording.
That was what I heard.
You do that. No.
I listened to it. I heard what you said.
And I actually had something that I was going to say about that. I said, and let's just do it just real quick on that one. For me, I was happy. The whole paying respect to each other between
what a match.
Man, that was just so heartwarming. And like,
did she earn it? Did she earn what? I don't know, whatever you thought she needed to earn in order to be champion. She earned it that match?
No, she didn't. No, you can't earn it in just one match.
Still throwing. look, they keep showing her daddy, and this is getting a little uncomfortable for me.
Yeah, big time.
Why they keep showing? I get so Saturday night, and this tells you like just where my mind is going. Of course, because they made a comment on commentary that was her dad. Dad was ringside, so they showed the dad. Okay, cool. And then they shoot, after she wins, and it was a little just too uncomfortable how long they left like on him. I don't know why they did that, but you can tell the crowd don't know that's the dad. The crowd don't know that's the boyfriend, the husband. So they don't pop as hard as they should,
that's
right?
Fair.
They don't pop as hard as they should.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, they should have. Y'all know how people are, right? Like Chris Brown come to concert, you want to believe Chris Brown is single, so you got a chance with Chris Brown. Beyonce come to the concert before she was with Jay-Z, you feel like you got a shot with Beyonce. Same thing here in wrestling, even though Stephanie's got a man, you don't want to put out there that potentially that person is her man, her boyfriend. Remember Trish, when she got a Hall of Fame induction, they booed the hell out of her. They booed the shit out of her. Every time they showed that man, they booed. Because the fantasy is like, hey, that's who I want, that kind of whole thing. So they bring him back on Monday. And I was like, because what I was thinking Saturday was like, damn, they should have said, somehow the crowd should have known that is the daddy. They bring him back on Monday, and the same thing, right? Like the camera's just on him just a little too long. And then I'm like, all right, so we turn this into a gimmick. Like, is that really, maybe, is he like OG Sin Cara, like number 3, and they're going to have like a tag team?
Know what's about to happen, right? He that man about to get his ass whooped. I don't know who's going to whoop
right? That's what I was thinking about.
I don't know who's going to do it.
Right?
I don't know.
That's
I feel bad for that man. A tear came down. I'm like, oh, that man about to get his ass whooped.
All right, if it's fancy booking real quick, we know it's not Rhea. Rhea's got her hands full. What other woman could get away with putting hands on him? Oh, it could be Raquel. I mean, I don't think it would be Raquel, but that would be realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Raquel.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any other, unless like they let Natty come back and beat Natty and beat his ass with the braids. That would be realistic.
Yeah.
That's probably about it though, right? Is there anybody else?
I mean, you could bring like Nia up from SmackDown.
No, she on SmackDown in the same vortex.
Nia can come up, yeah, but she can
Nia
she can move over there, man. And them cheeks hit that man's chest. He might be happy for a moment. He might see it coming down. Then when he get hit with it, it may not be what he wants. But right, but you know what I'm saying. That man might die from a heart attack from anticipation.
About to be somebody's baby daddy.
But yeah, no. But Stephanie Io killed. They killed. Yes. I did like the mixed tag match for sure. It was just, and I tweeted about it. Shout out to everybody who's involved. They worked in overtime to make AJ look like $1 million in that match.
Overtime, yeah. It was 35 minutes of wrestling. Yeah, of course
29,
it was overtime.
Baby. 29-18, I think it said. So, of course, that was Sunday. And then on...
Wait, Mac. Wait. You skipping the train, though, Mac. Rhodesia wanted to get something off. Go ahead, sis. What you got to say? What you got to say about Steph? You said she didn't earn it. Yeah. She a loser. And the crowd going to turn on her in a minute.
But yeah, go ahead.
No. So with Stephanie, what I said was, if she wins this championship, mark my word, her aura is going to come down. It just is. And again, you blame it on somebody else as far as the whole
Daddy
Jacob.
Now. That's the out.
No, we're not bringing Daddy, up. No, we're not moving goalposts this time. We are not moving goalposts. Well, all I'm saying is that she got that. They got the acknowledgement. Her and Io did that in the ring. Bravo. She go on to Raw talking about, that is my hero. Thank you that I was able to beat her. I beat the best. And she does her whole thank you speech. Perfect. What I said after watching that, I said she better stop talking. And this has nothing to do with accent. Stop talking. You need to go back to being that badass I'm scared of. Are you the devil? Kind of you need to go back to that, because as of right now, some of that aura for her has now come down. And that is me completely how I feel. Her mystique is not there anymore. She's smiling. She showed the extra emotion, which she should, especially Saturday night. She absolutely should have. Yeah, she absolutely showed emotion. But that's what exactly. And I don't think her character should be babyface in the traditional way of a babyface. And again, I know it's easy to call yourself like a tweener or even be like a tweener than a true babyface.
Tweeners don't work.
They don't.
Tweeners don't work. They don't.
They don't.
And then people always want to point to, they'll go to Austin. Yeah. And they may even go like the MJF. You're like, but that's the highest of the highest. Take those two out.
Yep. Yeah.
There's never been a tweener that has been in the top at their time. It don't happen.
Yeah. But if she goes babyface, regardless of if she goes babyface, if she doesn't talk again at this point, and she just come in beating ass and bouncing ass, then she'll be fine.
So Matt, let me get this straight. Well, this is what I'm understanding. So Stephanie needs to continue to do what she's been doing since she's been called to the main roster because she ain't dropping promos. She's always been booked as a babyface. Like, right? She had
mystique about her. But she had mystique about her, though. She always still had mystique, though.
Hey,
she was about business.
Let me say, I watched her wrestle with that thong for 35 minutes. The mystique is there for me. I don't know what she lost for you, baby. Man. But let me tell you, over here, and the
only
Big
if her daddy
house,
was fine. Well,
and the Big Daddy house,
old people, but older people.
Let me tell you what else is gonna happen. Once that daddy get his ass whooped, not her dad, not this Big Daddy, that daddy. Once her daddy get his ass whooped by whoever, like I want it to be somebody from the from NXT to get caught up, right? Is there any hot chick down there?
You don't get the belt on her and then have
or
her
El Grande, El Grande Americano can. One of them.
Or all four of them. A Grande Americana.
Okay,
right.
This shit has jumped the shark already and it's been 20 minutes.
Let's go.
So on Monday, ESPN wrote the review up. Shout out to my guy Andreas. And I wonder. So I have not been online much at all. So everything I'm talking about when I'm saying I'm online is like really quick pockets. Hell, I didn't even get a chance. Hell, I didn't watch All Out. Like I said, I didn't see a second of anything from All Out. So I wonder why, like, he had made a tweet about him trending, or he woke up to his mentions being crazy. So I had to do some like 2 and 2 = 4. I saw the stuff about the ESPN. Like, oh, he must have wrote the ESPN article. He did. He gave it a C. And all he said was, and this is what had everybody going crazy on Monday about this ESPN review and how, oh man, they're allowing ESPN to shit on the product, even though ESPN just gave them a bag, which I don't know how a C is shitting on the product. But maybe they haven't also watched like daytime ESPN where they carry Monday Night Football games and they can shit on the game if it wasn't good. So anyway, Andrea said the excellent Vakir versus Sky match saved this show from being truly average. It was a phenomenal display inside the square circle. Everything else was either underwhelming, the short Rhodes McIntyre match, or a step for a future match, Lesnar dominating Cena. For a card that promised to have epic moments, it fell a little short of expectations. That is what people went crazy about. Just show you how crazy wrestling fans are. There was nothing in there that was disrespectful, that bashed the show, anything like that. I even saw people talking about, well, you guys know Andreas is a AEW shield. Andreas is not a shield for anybody. Right? Wow. If he likes something, he'll say it. If he doesn't, he won't. But I agree 100% with what his assessment was. As much as I nerd out over wrestling, but I was, we were talking about the whole Stephanie and EO piece. My favorite part of that entire show was seeing the true emotion in Stephanie's face when she bowed to EO and just said, thank you so much. You can tell that was from a legit place of happiness, being a person. And then she tries to get back in character and then she breaks down and starts crying again. That's the kind of stuff that like you can really see. That's when it gets real.
Yeah.
We just talked, Matt and I, and Rhodesia a week ago or 2 weeks ago, where you've heard this before. Dusty Rhodes said, and I cannot remember what like the one or if it was 3 things he said, the second thing was, but he said there's only X amount of things that's real in wrestling. So let's go with this example. Let's go with 2 things in wrestling. The money you make, but the second one is what I remember. And he said your first championship that you win. Those are the only 2 things in wrestling that's real. And that's such a powerful statement because it's still a work, right? Somebody still said you're going over tonight, but it's still the point that you made it, right? Like all the hard work, sweat, tears, all of that. So that quote always kind of stuck with me a little bit. And I thought about that with Stephanie. This is a woman who's worked, all around the world, had the tremendous match with Mercedes, which I think is the reason why she got signed in WWE, did great work in NXT. And that moment hit her like a ton of bricks. And oh yeah, EO put me over. And everybody knows what EO is. Right. But overall, I thought the show was cool. Like it was cool. But it wasn't a show that I even thought about after the show was over, outside of a couple of things with the Cody and Drew match. But it was one of those where I think I like legit went right to bed after the show. But it was one of them shows where you were like, okay, I was entertained while I watched it. Now what else is on? Some shows you sit there and kind of just like, yo, what did we just watch? And you start thinking about it. Now let me go online and see what people are talking about it. To me, this was strictly, it was cool I was on.
All right, now move on. But I would say I was a little underwhelmed because I've been hyping this show for 2 weeks about how I'm super excited for this show. And for me, it was just like, it was cool. I got what I needed out of it, but I just have questions about some of the booking decisions. I really do.
I wouldn't have given it a C. Well, let me take that back. For a show for what it is, I probably would have given it like a B or a B minus. But I can see, I wouldn't argue with somebody giving it a C because, again, to me, there are certain expectations. I didn't hear what Triple H said about a spectacle and surprises. I wasn't privileged to all that information. I'm just knowing that this is the first time you're on ESPN. Like, I guess maybe could they have been on ESPN like 20 years ago for something? I think they mentioned
wrestling
something.
was on ESPN before, and maybe a couple matches, but I don't know. And E, correct me if you remember. Wrestling for sure was on ESPN. I don't think it was WWE proper though.
So this is to me, in modern time, this is the first time WWE is being broadcasted on ESPN. So I did think that should have been you got to come a little bit harder. But again, like I said at the beginning of the show, when you're booking big shows, PLEs every 3 weeks, some of it, even if this was a great show, it just doesn't hit the same and it just doesn't feel the same because we just had a big show. We just had SummerSlam. We just had this. We just had that.
I mean, I thought the review was fair. He gave it a C. I gave it a B. Yeah. Right. Again, I feel like it's just a little bit too long. As far as like the surprises, I don't actually remember Tony Khan and all his surprises that he
got
went
on
out.
Wednesday. He has one Wednesday. He announced.
I'm at the point right now with these guys that I don't listen to. Like, they are promoters. They are true wrestling promoters, which they are going to overhype whatever it is, right? So Triple H said surprises. When I heard surprises, whatever. Like Undertaker popping out to make a Hall of Fame announcement ain't a surprise to me. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't that hype on it anyway, right? Like all the surprises that you mentioned that could be considered prizes. That's, man, like if he sits in front of his computer, he say, "Hey, these are the surprises." Like, he know that the average fan was like, "Oh, the main surprises." That's not what I'm looking for.
They are surprises.
Like, that's not what I'm looking for, right? But however, your job is to create
to sell, right?
Yeah,
to sell, baby,
like excitement into the product, right? And so now when you get there and you see all the pump and circumstance, you see all the fireworks, and you see the celebrities, and you got Pat coming out trying to get everybody hyped. You got all these different things around. It kind of tries to, try to control the room a little bit. I don't think he did that probably. Like when you turn on WrestlePalooza, right? One of the things I looked at, I'm like, damn, this looks really good. It looks really good, right? Now, again, when I watched AEW, right, I wasn't necessarily wowed by the production or the way the show overall looked. But when you turn on WWE, wow, it looks great. When you look at like how packed the arena is, everyone's going crazy, the graphics, the video packages, like it looks like a happening, right? Now, is anything actually happening? That's the question. But at the end of the day, it's in a fine state. Now, I would have liked them to actually deliver some type of surprise that actually meant something. But at the end of the day, what can they realistically give you in a surprise that's going to pay into like the next show they have in a couple weeks, right?
What if the surprise was Drew McIntyre beating Cody for the championship? How would you think that surprise would have hit for you?
That's not a surprise.
But did you think Drew was going to win?
No, absolutely.
No. So wouldn't it be? That would be the definition of a surprise, right?
You know what? It's like if you came over my house and you farted in my room, I would be surprised, but I wouldn't be happy about it though, brother.
Dog.
I'm just trying to tell you.
I don't understand.
Wow,
the connection here.
You know what I'm saying?
I ain't saying happy surprise. Triple H didn't say happy surprise.
I'm just saying it would. You could have left that gas outside,
Dog.
bro. You know what I'm saying?
So I bring that up.
Hey, but let me give you a nice surprise though, right?
Okay.
A nice surprise.
Realistic, nice surprise.
No, it was before the podcast.
God.
But let's talk about All Out. You guys didn't see it, right?
Yep.
Opening match was Cope and Christian versus FTR. Nice match, right? The heels going crazy on Cope and Christian. Out comes Beth Copeland, aka Beth Phoenix. Now that's a surprise. That's a surprise. Like,
That's my
right?
girl.
Now, I'm not going to, like, I feel like they had a little too many surprises, right? But now you go a little in the middle of the card, right? You got the Young Bucks tag team match. Like, right? Young Bucks causing havoc. Then all of a sudden, Jack Perry's music comes out. Jack Perry comes out with this mug. And like, the only how you can follow this storyline is that you had to go on YouTube because Jack Perry sent the Young Bucks like a blade. I don't know how he's able to send like a unsheathed like cutting knife to the Young Bucks, but he did somehow.
Rhodesia does that every
right?
time she travels, so it's all
Oh,
good.
boom, there you go. Like big old knife, right? So he comes out there with the holder. They like the Young Bucks, they're overwhelmed because it's just one dude, right? All of a sudden, like the lights go off, video package, it's Kill Switch, aka Luchasaurus is now Luchasaurus again. Luchasaurus and Jack Perry.
That's a surprise.
Surprise.
Luchasaurus and Jack Perry reunite, and I guess going forward, the Jurassic Express is back. That's a surprise.
Where Marco's done at?
We haven't seen.
Can I ask a question?
And he had Home Depot. We haven't seen Jack Perry or Luchasaurus. I mean, Jack Perry didn't know quite. That's a surprise, right?
It is a surprise.
Hey,
to you, E, that's a pleasant surprise. Somebody else legit would say, "Oh my God, we finally got American Badass Undertaker," and Stephanie McMahon was announced for the Hall of Fame. Somebody could be listening to you like, dude, how can you even compare Jack Perry coming back to Stephanie McMahon?
I have a squirrel moment here.
No. So that AEW audience, right? The people who are going to pay $50 to go watch that product,
they popped too, didn't they?
Hell yeah, they did.
Yeah,
that was a moment for them. So I'm not saying that Fonz or cousin D will pop for him, but that audience, that's a big thing.
So Jack Perry's a babyface now?
Yes. Hey, let me watch this. Before you go, let me walk something else back too, right? Talk about the surprise of Kill Switch returning as Luchasaurus. This mofo wrestles in a match earlier.
As Kill Switch?
As Kill Switch.
All right,
he wrestles in the match. No, we gotta talk about this for a second. This man wrestles as Kill Switch earlier in the match. Right? Right? Kip Sabian and him have been going kind of back and forth since Kill Switch came back. You know, he had like a devastating injury or something. I think his lungs or something was.
Oh shit!
You talking about Kill Switch?
They said that he was like, he may have got checked all the way up out of here at one point.
Yeah, it was a problem.
It was like that.
Yeah. I don't know if it was as bad as Brody Lee got wrestled, but it was something like that.
Well,
to where it
couldn't have been bad, brother. Brody Lee's not with us anymore.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. I'm joking. I'm not talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But anyway, this man comes back, and him and Kip Sabian have been beefing ever since. So at some point in the match, Kip Sabian slaps like Kill Switch, right?
Luchasaurus comes back.
He slaps him, right? So Kill Switch hops off the apron, and then that's the moment he turns on Kip Sabian, walks out on him, right?
Oh, all right, okay, all right. So at least then he.
No.
All right,
30 minutes later,
all right.
Jack Perry comes out. Lights go out to show a video package of Kill Switch in the ambulance. You know what I'm saying? Reawakening as Luchasaurus. Wouldn't it have been better if this man wasn't on the show at all? Like, it was a surprise to see Luchasaurus, Kill Switch, whatever it is.
Of course. That's pretty cool.
You gonna have the man wrestle a whole match 30 minutes before that?
That's question, though. Please, I squirreled. What happened to a knife? Can you go back and explain the knife situation?
So basically, remember back in the day, and this is cool to me because this is the way it was in the beginning of AEW. You had to watch Being the Elite and NJPW to know all the storyline. Remember, there was things that would happen on BTE that would then translate to television. And if you didn't know, you didn't know. So it sounds like BTE came back and Jack Perry sent the Young Bucks a knife.
Yeah, and a note said something about, here's the knife that you stabbed me in the back with or something like that.
Oh, that's so sad.
But Jack Perry was a straight heel before he left, right? The Bucks didn't turn on Jack Perry that I remember.
We haven't seen him since that last, I think it was when they were the Elite, and I think it was whoever they were fighting in one of them Bloods and Guts matches. I think that's the last time we saw. I don't know if something went awry in that match.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I didn't see the match, but those are surprises.
I get you, man.
That's a surprise.
But Drew beating Cody would have been a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
So I brought it up at the time I did because there was a report that came out that allegedly, and Body Slam does a really good job. Shout out to Body Slam. Of vetting their information. So typically when I see Body Slam, I believe it. Sources indicate that both Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre pitched Randy Orton, accidentally costing Rhodes the undisputed WWE Championship. This would have set up Cody chasing the title once again and winning it back from Drew before Randy pulled the trigger and turned on Cody. The end result ended up being Cody Rhodes standing tall to end WrestlePalooza with no shenanigans. So once again, I'm going to take this report as face value, that 100% of this report is true. That is 10 times better than what we got at WrestlePalooza as a finish. We had just talked about Drew McIntyre and how Drew is always the bridesmaid, never the bride. He's always, okay, we'll push him until it gets to that point, then we ain't got nothing for you. I think that is a fantastic idea. And evidently, according to this, sounds like Cody and Drew agree that this is the idea to go with. Now, yeah, that screws Seth and Cody up in 2.5 weeks at Crown Jewel, but miss me with that. Like, y'all can figure something else out, right, for that match and that show. But that is a fire suggestion, because then Cody has something else to sink his teeth into, getting the championship back. You give Drew his moment, and holy hell, Orton accidentally costing Cody. Imagine what that does for fans for the weeks and weeks and weeks after, talking about, was it a mistake? Was it not a mistake? You know what I mean? And then, man, so yeah, so that's allegedly what should have happened. I think that would have been great.
Well, I didn't see that report, but what I did say and how I felt about, and it was more so on the Cody side than on the Drew side, because I think maybe I've already conceded kind of my fandom for Drew being a champion and just appreciating him while we have him. Still a great worker in the ring. Still looks great. You always talk about fantasizing over these women. Drew is beautiful to me. But I've kind of also just pegged him as, okay, you're going to always be that bridesmaid and not that bride. But my word I have for Cody right now is conflicted, because I am not interested in his reign. I don't really care about what he's doing. And most of this, I feel like, isn't even his fault. Is who he's been in a feud against. It's who's been in front of him. There's times where he has somebody that he's about to wrestle and we know there's no chance in hell they're going to beat him. So it's almost not fair to Cody that I feel this way about him. And so to me, that would have completely, I think, changed how I felt about Cody and this reign, and appreciate him more than what I do and how I feel about him now. He showed up on Raw, of course, to talk to Seth and say, hey, and sell that pay-per-view in Perth.
And that was great.
It was great.
That was great.
Okay, it was fantastic.
So what you're feeling, though, is the horrible storyline. Cody beat Cena at SummerSlam. That next Friday, they immediately tag up. Drew kicks Cody through the announcer's table. Cody's gone for 3 weeks to film Street Fighter. He comes back. We get this match. That's why you feel that. So it's nothing on Cody per se. It's the presentation. It's the storyline. And E, I want you to go, but that's going to lead me right into Triple H's booking right now. But E, what you got?
Let me get this straight. So Rhodesia is uninterested in the Cody title reign. That's like, me saying that ice ain't cold. Of course, you're not interested in the Cody title reign. But look, that's all fine and dandy. That sounds great on paper, right? But at the end of the day, this is the problem with their current setup. They got these damn shows every 2 to 3 weeks. You can't build proper stories and storylines and get really people invested into what's happening when you're popping out these things every single week. It almost seems like right. So let's talk about, if you're booking something, you're gonna book Cody to dethrone John Cena, right? His last reign ever. You're gonna book him to end that reign, and then in 3 weeks, you're gonna have him, the guy to dethrone John Cena. You're gonna have him lose to Drew McIntyre, right? Right before you got a Saudi show, 2.5, 3 weeks later. And so your marquee match is going to be Drew McIntyre, a heel, versus Seth Rollins, a heel. And this dude who's paying whatever he's paying, right? You know he's paying some big old money for these shows. That's what he wants. He wants Drew and Seth headlining his show.
They're in Perth.
I mean,
though, this
Yeah,
time
Perth.
for Crown. They're in Perth
Not yet. They're in
for Crown
Perth.
Jewel in Australia.
Oh, whatever. Even that. Like, if you're actually booking like what is a bigger match right now, it's not Drew and Seth, heel versus heel. All right, so when you look at it that way, I mean, it's of course that sounds great in fantasy booking land. If they have more time to build that out, and you can skip this match that they have to have in 2 weeks or whatever it is, sure, absolutely. Because I'm gonna look at right now. Cody's the main man. He doesn't necessarily need the championship. He's almost like a John Cena, because John Cena for a while he would kind of lose the belt and then kind of get it back. He always kind of found his way. That's kind of where Cody is right now. I'm all about Drew getting a run, but it just depends on what they got, what the storylines they have booking throughout the year. And I think the biggest part of this, I think that's really handicapping Triple H and his creative, is how often he's doing these PLEs. I think that's the biggest problem, because they're going from thing to thing to thing very, very quickly. And how much investment can you get in one feud when it ends within 2 to 3 weeks, and then they're jumping to the next thing, right? That's the problem I think that they're having right now. I think they were able to kind of slow down their booking to make you really care about these characters and stories. They'll mean more, especially if you got to sit through 65-minute matches.
Ain't happening, brother. They're making too much money on these shows. But so I do want to talk about Triple H's booking right now. Before I get to that, you mentioned you were talking about the match with Seth and damn, I forgot you mentioned something about.
Who was you, me or E?
It was E. He had just mentioned something about Seth and
Drew.
Yeah,
I'm
trying to think. Oh, it's funny though, because as much as that, to me, that storyline sounds tremendous for everybody involved, even Cody sounds tremendous. But I tell you what, that crowd in Indiana did not want Cody to lose that match. Go back and listen to that false finish where Drew had the false finish on Cody. And I think he hit the Claymore. I think it was the Claymore. And of course, Cody kicked that too. You could hear the crowd when he hit the Claymore. They were really uneasy. And it wasn't a pop of like Drew was about to win this championship. It was a audible sound of, oh shit, is this really about to happen? And not like in a good way. They wouldn't have shit on it per se, right? They would have popped if Drew won. But in that moment, that's where your real emotion comes in at, where you just completely get lost in it. And what you feel is what you emote and emit. Go back and listen if you didn't catch it. I caught it in real time and I said something to Matt about it. And he was like, yeah, I heard that too. Which is just interesting.
Not really, because Drew ain't got it like that yet. He ain't got it like that. And you know what? They haven't created enough friction and story between the two of them.
And that's the thing, man.
Just imagine if they were able to get cooking for maybe 2 months.
That's
like really
thing,
let Drew be Drew, right? And really be that villain, that thorn in Cody's side, to where now he's a true threat. Like, right? Like, I think you would get a different. I still think right now Cody is with the majority of the mainstream fan. They're not going to necessarily boom. This ain't the WrestleMania crowd. But I think that Drew would have more of a shot to be, oh damn, he is somebody who can legit take Cody out.
It's interesting, man. It really is. So you look at that booking decision, and then you look at the booking decision for Cena and Brock. We didn't do predictions on our last episode, just because whatever, right? We just talked through. We spent like 45 minutes talking about WrestlePalooza too on the last episode. I thought it was gonna be like a quick 15, 20 minutes. No, we hit it hard. But I didn't give them, because there's times where like I'll give something a lot of thought, and there's other times where I don't give stuff a lot of thought. Cena Brock, I didn't give it a lot of thought at all. I don't even know if I even said who I thought was gonna win. But on paper, you watch it and you say, that's how it should have gone. It should, like, Brock should have destroyed John Cena. Why would he not?
So that was a surprise for me. I did think that Cena was going to, not get his ass whooped royally. I didn't think he was going to lose. But I think I even overheard you and Matthew having a conversation, maybe after the match or after the show, kind of like people in careers, wrestling careers and storytelling and movies, TV shows, a lot of times it's always just that one person you just can't beat.
Somebody's
And
always
you
got
go-
your number, right?
And that's just who he is to him. And now I can appreciate it more hearing it that way, because you're right, that is my kryptonite. You know, that's always going to be that person that I can't beat. So I can appreciate that now, but in the moment I'm like, ugh, like, dang.
But here's the thing. So let's talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
You watch it happen, and then you hear the commentators talk about who's next for Brock Lesnar after he destroyed John Cena. Which, okay, that's a red herring, because this should be all about John Cena.
Right.
And now we're talking about who's next for Brock Lesnar. So either that means John Cena's next for Brock Lesnar, or they got plans for somebody else. Who knows what that looks like? But here is, and this is probably chapter 1 of whatever they're doing. John Cena's retirement story is about everybody else but John Cena. And John Cena's been like that, allegedly. We just saw Super Cena, where he mowed everybody down and put them all back to the island of misfit toys. After he was done with them, they were in mid-card, lower card, purgatory forever. But this was supposed to be a celebration and whatever that else looked like for John Cena, this 12-month run. And it's been anything but. So he loses to Brock Lesnar and got destroyed.
Annihilated.
With no talk and thought of they're going to run this match back. For us then to move on to John Cena versus AJ Styles at Crown Jewel on Saturday, October 11th. Then what was the point of Brock Lesnar destroying John Cena then? And these are all rhetorical questions, right? We don't have to have answers. This is just things that popped in my head. And then what's the point? I know the point. But then we're going to do a dream match of John Cena, AJ Styles with zero build. Because John Cena's not advertised for any show until Crown Jewel. So then online today, people said, you had one side that said, oh, look what the IWC was able to do. We bullied them into giving us John Cena and AJ Styles.
I didn't know that was a thing.
You have the other side that says, if you believe you had any chance of changing whatever plan they had just for them to do AJ Styles and John Cena at Crown Jewel, you are sadly mistaken.
Yeah, he only has 4 days left.
IWC does not have that type of power. If the IWC does not have that type of power, and I don't know which way they're going with it, what does that have to say about Triple H's booking?
Well, no, I don't think that that's fair to ask that question. So I get all the other questions you said that was like rhetorical. We don't have to really answer them. There's things that get in your brain, the brain to start thinking. I don't think that at all. This is Cena's last 4 appearances. 3, 4, or 5 appearances.
5.
I think it's 4. Okay, 5. He has 5 appearances left. This is him. This is Cena's saying, "Hey, these are the people I want to dance with one last time in the ring." So, for the end of a career, I have 5 showings left. Don't even know if those are going to be all 5 matches or whatever, however that looks. We know he has at least one more person he's wrestling, which is AJ Styles at this moment. I don't care about the IWC in that regard. You can push narratives and you can change storylines on other stuff, but this is it. This is a done deal. These are his last 5. Now, if something changes in there, then that'll be, I feel honestly, Cena's then decision. But I don't think that for you to say that if the IWC can't change who Cena is about to go on his last 5 appearances, or now 4 appearances after AJ, then what does that say about Paul Levesque? It says that is up to John Cena. He has his last few matches of who he wants to wrestle, and he's going to go out the way he wants to go out. And he's said that for the last half a year. Cena's going to do what he's going to do.
Planned in? So when I talk about the Triple H booking, I'm saying then that tells me that none of this is planned. We are kind of we're flying by the seat of our pants with this. If you knew you were going to run Cena and AJ Styles in Perth and you don't have any Cena dates, how about we start planting some seeds on SmackDown? Weeks from before now, where they see each other backstage and whatever, right? Mm-hmm. We've seen what this could look like.
Yeah.
And then we get a tweet about the fans are demanding it. Triple H, let's give it to him, because it was a whole thing online. Cena sent out a tweet. Oh, I'm sorry, maybe I should have said that. Once again, for anybody who's not online, John Cena said, and I saved it. This is how it started.
Okay.
I don't have that one. Triple H just doubled down on it, but Cena basically had sent out a tweet this morning like, I always said I didn't care who I wrestled, but the fans are demanding it, and I'm always gonna do what's right for the fans. Fans want John Cena and AJ Styles. Can we give it to him? He said, I do not choose my opponents, but I, even through tough times, always listen to the fans. And then he added AJ Styles, are you listening? Better yet, Triple H, are you listening? Hashtag Cena versus Styles. And then Triple H, was AJ said, I'm hearing him. Yes. And then Triple H tweeted it out. And then Cena said, I want to thank Triple H for being flexible here and rewarding the true driving force behind Cena versus Styles, the fans. 2 posts, over 10 million views, and so many of you let yourself be heard. Crown Jewel, Perth, and AJ Styles, you will get my everything. Listening to our audience is always what's best for business. I am forever grateful to you all for choosing my next opponent, LFG.
So, okay, that
I should have led with that.
Yeah, but I still
should have
feel
led
like
with
he
that.
probably
So my
still had
apologies on that.
placeholder. He probably still had placeholders. So let's say, for instance, if he said after the whole "Sold My Soul" thingy, whatever, we got past that. We have now 10 days left, 5 matches left. I need to finish with whomever, and maybe we can throw in 1 or 2 and just be flexible with those couple of people. I think maybe that could have been it. But there's no way that. I don't personally think that the IWC was the ones that said, so much so, hey, John Cena, I forget what you had planned already. I want to watch you and AJ Styles wrestle. That's hard for me to believe in your last 5 showings. That is just, I don't subscribe to that. And I find it very hard to believe that the IWC was that driving force to get those 2 people. I think that was always an option.
I don't remember anyone talking about AJ Styles and John Cena until John Cena came out with that tweet. Was that a thing prior to today?
I never heard that.
Yeah. Over the last couple months, when actually it really picked up steam when he name dropped AJ Styles. He cut that promo on SmackDown a few weeks back where he talked about he only got so many dates left, and the people that the fans wanted to see him wrestle, he probably wouldn't be able to. It started getting some traction in, but even before that, shout out to our guy Wole. He's been talking about this shit for like 9 months, and he's not been the only one that it was like, we got to get AJ Styles and John Cena again.
So was AJ the last person that Cena mentioned that they hadn't got a match with him yet?
In the promo, I don't remember. I don't know if he was the last person, but he was one of the people that he announced or he mentioned.
I'm just asking because, like, I'm skeptical with these wrestling figures. Like, right, I feel like they put stuff out on social media, especially when you're intelligent as they are. They put things out for a reason. They know they're going to get the traction and engagement that they're looking for. I think this was a plan, right? You're mentioning Triple H, and Triple H gets some face service too, where he's listening to the crowd and all that other national blast. I feel like this is a premeditated thing, and I do also believe that John Cena and Triple H said that he's going to allow Cena to go out the way he wanted. Like, right, he wanted to turn heel, he turned him heel. He didn't turn heel the way they initially talked about it, right? Because Rock kind of came in there and they kind of did it a little differently, right? Because remember that Mania match, Cena was supposed to turn heel during that match. Not prior to the match. That's why things got a little wonky, right?
Yep.
So I think that all along the plan has been flexible as far as like, hey, this is the Kobe Bryant farewell tour for John Cena. We're gonna let you go out your way, and that's what these last couple matches are. It's really about John Cena seeing him one last time against certain people, and he's picking who he wants, right? Or they're giving him options about who he wants to wrestle. So why wouldn't you? And in all respect, why wouldn't you give somebody like John Cena, who's given to that company, right? Because he is true, like a WWE guy, like, right? He's like, you want to put the Mount Rushmore of like WWE guys, he has to be up there, right? For them, he ain't there for me, but I can acknowledge that he meant a lot to that company, especially during that time period. Like, why wouldn't you give him like a list and feuds and people you're gonna go with? Now, as far as the Brock thing, like, again, it kind of makes sense. Like, right, he would kind of destroy him. I mean, like in that one match that they had together, like Brock destroyed his ass. Like, right? So Brock's going to be around for some time. You want him to look like a monster. Right? And he's going to be there. John Cena's on his way out. And it kind of doesn't really matter at this point if John wins or loses. It really doesn't. Like, right? But what matters to Brock and the company is to keep Brock looking strong for the next person. So sure, people might want to see a win and maybe a back and forth, but I don't necessarily want to see you want the beast to go on back and forth with the guy who about to retire. That dude, you want to keep that dude strong. So
let's
that
argue.
is what it is.
Let's argue real quick. So you said it's not. I would argue that why, if we're talking about what's best for business, fan service, all that, et cetera, et cetera. This is a John Cena retirement tour. Let's just say a third of that crowd came to see John Cena wrestle the last match they're going to see. And they saw a squash match. If the finality of this story is not a massively positive one for John Cena against Brock Lesnar, we could easily argue and say that was a waste of an appearance in a wrestling match. For it to be a squash match, it was a squash. Like, so say if Cena and Brock doesn't touch again, and that's why I'm like, this may be just chapter 1, part 1, and hell, maybe this is even just to build up equity for Brock. So when we do get Brock and Gunther at WrestleMania, which Gunther has talked about numerous times,
Matt,
wanting.
Were you surprised?
Oh, yes. I didn't expect
there you
a
go.
squash match.
You got your surprise that she was looking
I said that.
for,
I said
right?
it earlier.
Yeah, you got your surprise. That's what it was about. Like, right, they gave you what they said they were going to give you. They gave you a surprise. They gave you a match. And they did business. John Cena probably wanted Brock to be strong. Like, that's one of the guys he wanted to wrestle against on his way out. Like, you know what, man? Look, you're going to be around. You my guy. You're going to be around. You've been laid off for like 2 weeks. I mean, 2 years. Like, right, I'm going to put you over.
I got to find this. There was a tweet that I saw. You guys are really going to enjoy this. There was somebody, and shout out to whoever it was. I didn't screen grab who it was, but they basically just talked about how this is probably like the worst retirement like run in the history of like sports. They bullet pointed from January to now. Listen to this. Final Rumble appearance ended with a light shove. If you remember when Jay pushed him out the ring. Generational heel turn with zero plan. Third bullet point. Cheap, ruin wrestling heel arc instead of a desperate Cena heel arc. Next bullet point. Last WrestleMania match and last world title win overshadowed by a 2-minute run-in from a rapper. Next bullet point. Final Orton match had R-Truth Laurel. Next bullet point. 2 weeks of glazing Logan Paul in promos. Next bullet point. Awful Money in the Bank tag team match. Which match was not good. This is when it started cooking up, though.
I didn't watch
Next
that
bullet
match.
point. Last Punk match had the Vision lore. Next bullet point. Random babyface turn. Next bullet point. Redeemed his Mania match with Cody, but the aftermath featured a guy named in a federal lawsuit returning. Next bullet point. Had a 25-minute epic with Logan Paul that he could have done with AJ Styles or Carmelo Hayes. Next bullet point. Final SmackDown match ended with lawsuit man interference. Last bullet point. Got squashed in 8 minutes by the lawsuit man in a bad recreation of their SummerSlam 2014 match. Of course, I think the heel run has been much better than that. But what I will say
That's being
is there is going to be some fun conversations after this is over about just how bad this run was for some people. Thought you guys would enjoy
that heel turn should never happen, but he wanted it, right? He wanted the heel turn. He got the heel turn. I don't know if Rock interfering and speeding it up faster than what would have helped it. I just don't think the fans wanted that from him, right? But at the end of the day, you know, that's what he wanted to do. Triple H like, yo, this is your last run. We give you some room, give you some rope. But it's funny. I mean, that's legit what happened, though.
Yep. Hey, so, you know, I got a conspiracy theory on this. I'm running with this. And until I hear this is not the case, this is what I'm going to go with. Triple H really cares about his perception to the fan base. 100% he does. There's no way he didn't see and hear all the bad talk about WrestlePalooza this last few days and bad booker, all that. That's been out there. I think this is his way of silencing that crowd and giving them a match that he knew they wanted, which is AJ versus Cena. I think this is Triple H's way of getting back in good graces with the IWC. 100%. And if you listen to that tweet, Rhodesia, when you go back and listen to the pod and you listen to that tweet, and then listen to what I just said, you can be like, I'll be damned.
Maybe the IWC. Okay. I can probably entertain that. Because you're not just saying wrestling fans, you're saying this very niche group of
wrestling
people.
fans. Well, actually, wrestling fans couldn't even find the show.
Hello,
they couldn't even find the show.
That's me.
He don't care. He don't care about y'all.
He didn't even find the show.
He don't care about y'all.
I was texting with Bobby, and I was just telling him it almost felt like it was intentional that they didn't tell you how to watch this show. Remember when the network first started? They had Michael Cole on his phone going through logins.
Yes.
And showing
I
how to
remember
download
No, they did.
Yep.
Cody did it. Cody did it on SmackDown. Then Ron.
Oh,
Truth.
did he?
They both did it. Yeah.
Okay, so they did
I
it.
don't
So that
believe
had to
what
been
Ron
just
Truth
past
says.
Friday.
Yeah, Ron did it. Yeah.
Okay, all
And
right.
then towards the end of the segment, he took the phone and put it in a toaster.
See, at that point, I didn't even understand the context of why he would put a phone in a toaster.
Triple H booking. Remember Round of Truth Killings was be a big deal?
No,
Me and
that's
E
what
had-
y'all
me-
thought.
me
and
and
I
E had him
got
going undefeated.
raked on those coals. Raked on those coals.
We had him going undefeated.
No.
2025.
This is the same. That should have been a mark my word moment for Rhodesia in that one. What we said is that they should have gave Ron Killings
The
title.
championship. What the
At
hell?
least for 2
Hell
weeks.
yeah.
What the
Easily.
hell?
For two
I gave
weeks.
Easily.
Stephanie the championship 10 times over before giving Ron Killings as it was at that moment.
No, as Ron the Truth
championship.
Killings, not as our Truth.
Our Ron
Yes.
Killings should
I
have
don't
the
care what
championship. this
version
year.
Hell
of
yeah, he
him
should have.
in this
And
moment
listen,
of this year.
Hey, listen, Ron. Keep us as friends, man. Don't listen to Rhodesia. Don't listen to her. Okay, we don't approve of her message.
That's so damn funny. All right, we're an hour in. Of course, I want to get to whatever y'all got to. I want to like argue and have some fun with the PWI 500 list came out today. I haven't even
cool.
looked at it,
I haven't either.
so I saved it and I moved on because I didn't want anything spoiled. But I have that. I also have a
Hey, real
Cody
quick,
Rhodes.
Matt.
Yeah.
Matt, real quick. I gotta say you this though, because I'm getting a kick every time I keep saying it. So Lola Vice. This is why we gotta watch NXT more often. Maybe cover it as well. Lola Vice popped up.
Okay.
And she did a promo on the champion.
Okay.
Her name escaped me right now.
Yeah.
Part of
Fatal
Fatal.
Yeah.
Fatal Attraction.
Fatal influence. or something.
JC Jane.
There you go.
JC Jace. She said, another person talking about my ass. Well, at least I have an ass to shake.
Oh wow.
Let me
Is
go
she
ahead.
but shaming
Get
JC?
Hold on a second. What that damn thing is? Let me go ahead.
You know JC be shaking it.
Listen,
She be
Yeah,
shaking
but-
it.
trying to shake it, but
Yeah,
I'm
but
trying to shake it.
it's still
it was like 15 seconds too late. But we got it. Y'all got it. Y'all know what it is. So do y'all want to get to the Cody Rhodes was talking about who's taking over WWE after Triple H? Do you want to get to the PWI 500 list? That's all I got. I mean, I just want to say like Asuka and Io, tremendous work, ladies. Bravo.
I think
on
we
Monday
should
Night
finish
Raw.
with the PWI. So let's just touch on that. Cody taking over, or whomever taking over WWE afterwards.
All right. Friend of the show, Eternal, had sent us a message a couple days ago, and he said, "Hey, I got a question for the pod, and I want your thoughts on it." And it was Cody Rhodes had an interview just a few days ago, and what he said was, "Oh, I lost it. I mean, now I got to go back and find it again." He talked about who's going to take over after Triple H retires.
And when he means take over, can you define what he meant by take over?
Like creative, yeah, the whole thing.
Okay, got it.
Yep. Damn it! Let me see if I can pull it back up.
Should I fill up? Okay, so then why are you looking that up?
I'll tell you. I'll tell you this way. I love Cody.
Here we go. Found it. Okay.
Not Cody.
All right. So look. So let's talk about
They're
it.
too emotional.
He said,
right?
I think there's starting to become a fight for it. And I didn't see that at first. I thought, well, obviously I'm the best candidate. So there you go, E. Take that. He said, I felt like I had some experience and I'll be interested in something like that. But also, it's very clear that CM Punk is really great at helping develop young talent. He probably has a knack for it more than anybody. Seth Rollins is a little bit more rough around the edges, but probably would be an outstanding boss when it comes down to it. I like to throw my name in the hat. I don't know if I'm ready to do it officially yet, but I like the fact that there's the three of us, plus tons of other people. Bailey, Roman will always have a say. You've got an older locker room right now, so eventually those positions, see if you can do good because it's not always booking. The industry is not easy, and Triple H is doing a great job. So thankfully, we have him for quite some time. So Eternal said, who do you think should get it when he retires? I have 4 names not in order. He said CM Punk should get NXT, Seth Rollins NXT or main roster. And then he said Cody, WWE president or main roster. Eternal, brother, that is only really 3 names. Not 4. Punk, Seth, and Cody.
Yeah.
Yep. So who would you guys say right now? Who would you say Triple H retires? He hits the, mega millions for $1 billion and he's like, we out. I'm ready to go on an island and just relax. So there is no McMahon that can take it over. So this has to be one of the current talent. Even if you want to say AEW, somebody in AEW, you can say somebody in AEW. But who would you say would be your pick for, you know what, if I had to pick, my next WWE is going to be ran by X?
We already see it all the time. Cody's very diplomatic. So having him in some type of presidential role, I could see that for sure. I'm assuming we're not going to go with Bruce Pritchard, because he's older than Triple H. So I'm assuming if it's after Triple H, then Bruce Pritchard probably wouldn't be doing this too, right?
And Bruce Pritchard also is not an active wrestler. He's also not an active wrestler.
I thought you said wrestler.
I got a mosquito bite on my knee that is killing me. I've been trying to be professional and not scratch and not move around, but oh my God.
Who would have a temperament for it? I laughed and giggled when you said CM Punk because of how his demise was with AEW. But I can see him coming back and how much the people in NXT admire him and how much he loves getting in the ring and just Punk has always wanted to pass on his knowledge. It was just other people didn't really want to quite accept it, and I felt like he took it personal. So I could see him being down there in NXT, put Cody in the boardroom, head of the company. As far as for creative, which was interesting, what you just said, Cody said was Bailey. I wonder what was up with that and if she has a very great wrestling mind. I wouldn't put her as head creative because I don't know any of her thinking, but I would probably have to pick. I'm so bad at this. Roman? I don't know if Seth has the temperament to be a head writer.
You spoke for 2 minutes about who you would not pick, and then you drop Roman's name and don't say why you would pick him. You just say Roman?
Because that's the only name I could think of right now. And I feel like now, from what I've seen, he's probably gotten the most knowledge from the past generations. Currently, with Paul Heyman dropping so many constant nuggets in that man's mind. So that's the reason why I pull up Roman, because from what we've seen on TV, on these podcasts, between Cody and Roman, they are the ones that's getting all this knowledge.
I think it's some kind of I think as a figurehead or even somebody who actually a great leader, I think that would be Cody. I think you listen to a lot of wrestlers, they have a great admiration for him and respect for him, in somebody in that locker room. So it's somebody who can be the next Triple H as far as he seems like he has all the respect and the knowledge to do so. I'm a little shaky on the creative because we have the Codyverse stuff in AEW and some of it was like, right. But maybe he's grown from that time and he can, he can maybe head a better creative in WWE. So I definitely would say that as far as having someone in a leadership role, Cody is number one on my list. But I think that CM Punk isn't far down the line because we saw he had some great ideas for Collision. That they got rid of a lot of them, but they were pretty cool initially when that program started. I think he has probably a great mind for the business, and he has a lot of respect. And I think the older he's gotten, he's kind of cooled down a little bit. I think he learned a lot about himself and his communications style from AEW to NXT to WWE. But it also might be the environment too, right? I felt like listening to him, he was very frustrated with the atmosphere and maybe the lack of leadership and accountability in AEW. And also maybe a little frustrated with some of the younger talent who obviously needed guidance and some leadership that wasn't willing to take the guidance and leadership, right? But in WWE, it seems like it's a different pecking order there, right? So like when you're there and somebody with experience and knowledge is speaking to you, it seems like it's okay. I need to listen and be receptive to the information, like right, because not being receptive to that information seems like that's frowned upon more heavily there than it probably was in the AEW. So I think the structure is different there, and I think he will really thrive in that environment. So I think Cody number one, CM Punk. I'm unsure of Seth. I know a lot of people speak glowingly of his mind for the business. I just haven't, I'm just hearing about it more recently, and I haven't heard examples. And I haven't seen examples from a creative standpoint. Now from his look, like right, even when the crazy Joker stuff, I absolutely understood what he was trying to go with. Like right, to look, to look like a character, to stand out, to be one of them guys that when you're in the airport, they're turning heads. Right, he looked different than everybody. The way he looked, his build. I mean, he looked different than anything else that you were seeing on the show. So maybe that might be some of the footprints of him being on the creative side.
I mean, you guys hit a lot of them, and it's funny because maybe it's also going to be like by committee too, because Triple H is head of creative and whatever else he is. I think there could be a world where you have a Cody Rhodes as like, I don't know, they could come up with a position where he's like the top person, and then you do have a CM Punk as the creative guy. I don't ever see CM Punk as like the head of WWE. I can see CM Punk 100% running NXT though.
Yeah.
Easily. I can see him being the head creator in WWE. Because the East Point Collision was my favorite show for that month and a half where he was there and they were running great on Saturday. It was my favorite show out at the time. But I would also go with Roman from a perspective of Rock's on the board. And I'm going to assume they're close. We really don't see much of them at all. Roman doesn't really talk about Rock a ton, out as much maybe as some other people probably would. And we also don't really know Roman's personality either.
Mm-mm.
Like Roman has only been who he is on camera when he was the big dog. Even his interviews, he was really young back then, but like, yeah, he's a family man. He loves his family. He loves wrestling, but you didn't really get what they all talked about. Like, man, if this guy could just show a little bit of himself on TV, he's out of here. And they did with the Tribal Chief character, but then we saw the Tribal Chief character, and even those interviews were really methodical in the way he talked.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like he came looking like the Tribal Chief. It's not like when we see Bayley doing interviews and she's not the character on television. It's not like Punk. I mean, everybody else kind of does interviews out of character. Roman still kind of keeps a lot of, and we think it's a character. Maybe that is him, right?
It could
I don't
be,
know
but...
how. Yeah, I don't know what that looks like. But I could, if he wants to, he should absolutely be in the front of the line, just like if Cena wanted to. Cena, like we know how the game goes. It was Hogan, Austin, Rock, Cena, Roman. And, now you got Cody, you got Orton. If Orton wants to do something, I mean, they have a lot of guys there who's been there forever that if they wanted to put their name in the hat, of course, you can only be one head creator. You can only be one heir apparent to Triple H. But I think they're in such a great spot that, and a lot of the old guys too now, you hear about Cody talking about like the old guys. They're going to tell these young guys and girls, like, less is more a lot of times. Like I'm sure TJ does now. We know Abyss does now. But if you think about when it gets to the point where everybody who's on top right now is an agent at WWE, if they decide to do that, think about how good they're going to be able to help Javon Evans, right? A Trick Williams. So, these guys and girls who are just now getting bubbling 10 years from now, where you got, Undertaker, legit agent backstage teaching all the big people how to work. Work big. It's just, I mean, they're set up for success, man, for a long, long time.
The key, though, and I feel kind of bad, but again, that's just what we have to choose from. And it's also like the low-hanging fruit, which is great options. But we do need to have more women presence in that creative, in that the boardrooms. Just when we saw, again, I'm still only 2 episodes in Unreal, and every time they showed the creative room, there's not a woman in sight. And I was just thinking about Becky and just how good she is as a character. And I know they said that just because you're a good wrestler, that doesn't always translate to booking good stories, because now you're booking for everybody and not just you. But like the way that her brain works and operates is a lot like Seth. But I think Becky has a little bit more of a temperament than Seth does. Not from her promo she had with Seth in that interview, or not interview, but that backstage promo they did. I don't think, Matt, you got to see it. Ed, were you
No.
able to see
Yeah, I didn't see it.
when Becky was talking to her man, her hot husband? You did?
He's shaking his head, yeah.
Oh. Matt, you have to go back. Anybody who didn't get a chance to see it, it was on Raw. It was backstage, and it just shows how great of a Mike Becky is. And of course, Seth is doing his thing and just being focused because he's focused on what just happened even earlier in the interaction that he had. But Becky's just going off. So I would like to see.
And it's not just you saying it. It's not
No,
just you saying it about
she
Becky.
she actually dropped that too. But how she dropped it was so perfect. You have to go back and watch that segment.
I'll go watch it.
It was fantastic. And I don't want to give anything else away about it, but that kind of mind right there, I'm quite sure she came up with that on her own. If not, her and Seth came up with that, coming with that on their own. But to have that kind of have that kind of mindset of how I'm going to get going, that got to be presented for women as well too. And I don't want to make it all feminist thing, but yes, we have Cody,
Too late.
Punk, Roman for sure. That's who we've had. Those been the A guys forever. But I think these women are starting to kind of say, nope, y'all not gonna be up there by yourselves. We're going to dominate up there too.
I like that they're actually integrating Becky into more of the men's stories, because a lot of the men's stories get more presence sometimes on the show, and I like that they're adding Becky into that so she can get more presence. I think she's a fantastic character. Promo ability. I feel like Becky, she might be top 3 like promo character, because I'll definitely put her over her husband. I like what Steph's doing, but as far as like a character and like mic work, I feel like Becky, she gotta be in the top 3. If I can't think who I can't think who I got as number 1 or number 2. I like Becky a little bit more than CM Punk on the microphone. I think she's phenomenal, and I feel like they should do more of integrating some of the top women into some of these top spots. Of course, you can't really have them wrestling the men and things of that nature, but I feel like pushing them closer to like main event stories that carry the show, I think it'd be phenomenal.
So do we think Becky Lynch cracked? Oh, no. PWI top 500 is only men. I was going to say that was a hell of a segue. I just don't know.
So do they not have a women list?
They do. Remember, it comes out a few weeks later.
Yeah, they have a women's one.
I was about to say.
You remember? We talked about it last year.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Wait, hold on.
We only going to talk top 10. I do think it'd be fun if in a couple weeks we do like our own top 10. I'm going to put it out there and see who agrees most with us. So it says here, evaluation period, August 1st, 2024 to July 31st, 2025. Here's the criteria. Activity. Minimum of 10 singles matches.
That's very specific.
Okay, which they look at competition as success against the most varied and highest quality opponents. Technical ability, which is quality of moves, matches, and in-ring storytelling. Influence, visibility, and prestige within a promotion and or the industry. And in-ring achievement, which is win-loss records, championships, or tournaments won. Number 10 was Will Ospreay.
Okay.
Number 9 was Mystico. Wow. Okay. Number 8 was Seth Rollins. Number 7 was Swerve. Number 6 was Jey Uso. Oh, I bet the internet was going crazy with that. Oh, holy hell.
He did lose at Armageddon, so.
Number 5 was Goto. He must have had a good year in NJPW. Good shit for him. Number 4 was Adam Page. Top 3. I just took a look at the top 3. It is 2 WWE people and 1 AEW person. Give me your guesses on who do you think the top 3 wrestlers are.
From SummerSlam into this past SummerSlam, roughly.
Yep. 2 WWE guys, 1 AEW guy.
Cody.
Okay.
Jon Moxley.
Okay.
Roman.
Okay. E, do you agree with those 3?
Roman was
Becky's
around for 10
husband.
times.
Becky's
Seth was number 9
Seth
or
was number
7.
8.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
Seth was number 8.
I missed
Yep,
that.
Seth was number 8. So
Shit, I guess it's Roman then.
But he didn't have 10 matches, though, now that I think about it.
don't do that.
I don't think he has.
He might go there 10 matches.
Well, nah, you know what? You're right about that.
Did. No, he definitely didn't have 10 singles matches. Yeah.
No, he
he
did not. So take him off.
He barely had 3. I guess. Did you get your Punk?
Oh, I did not.
Okay, so are you both going with? You said Cody.
Jon
You
Moxley.
said Mox, and then are you guys both going Punk?
Yeah, let's go Punk.
Okay. Rhodesia, you going Punk?
Yes.
Okay. Number 3
Okay.
was the one you guys missed. Gunther was number 3.
Swear to God, I was about to say Gunther right now.
Yep.
Swear to God.
Gunther was
about to
number
say him.
3. Moxley was number 2. Cody was number 1. So
Swear to God, I
back-to-back
was.
years, Cody wins. I don't have to look that up. I know he won last year too.
No problem with that.
I'm saying I am
with that. As it
sure
should.
the internet went crazy with Jay being number 6 though. He absolutely
That's too
deserves
low.
to be in the top 10.
That's too low.
Here's my
He
only
deserves to be in
issue.
the top 10 to me for influence and activity alone. That boy
Yeah.
worked his ass off last year.
The only person I
Popularity?
disagree with was
Yeah.
Mystico. Unless where else did he wrestle outside of AEW?
No,
he
no,
was in
no,
AEW.
no. Fuck Mystico. Who the hell is Goto?
You know Goto from NJPW.
What he doing that
Man.
high?
He must have been rocking it. If anybody, y'all can look at it. That's Goto. Look.
Ain't no way, bro.
Hey, why he look
Ain't
like
no
a
way.
Japanese solo?
Ain't no
Because
way.
he is.
That picture looked
Ain't
like
no
a
way.
Japanese solo.
Ain't no way, man.
And of course, I can't speak on Mystical or him.
Ain't no way.
I can speak on everybody else.
Right.
I mean, this list is
Ain't
pretty
no way.
solid.
Yeah, the list is pretty solid.
Jon Moxley being number 2. I thought AW sucked when he was on top, but maybe that was intentionally because I don't think they said we're going to intentionally suck, but in order for them to
another
set
surprise.
up Paige, what's
Another
that?
surprise. Pac returned to help Jon Moxley win his match against Darby Allin. Another surprise, right? And let me tell you, what also was surprising?
What's that?
Or did you can you guess what was surprising?
He was Pac,
No, he
And
was
not
that
Pac?
too.
not Pac. He was Pac.
He cut his hair.
Oh, wow.
He cut his hair,
I gotta pull up a
right?
picture now.
And I was so surprised.
Yuck.
I was so surprised. We got a returning Pac, and check this out. Check this out. So you know, as soon as Pac has been in AEW, it doesn't matter where he's gone, right? I remember the AEW press conference, right? Everybody comes out in regular street clothes, come to interview. Pac come out in his drawers, like, right? That man, it don't matter what's going on, like backstage segment, vignette. This man is in black tighties all day long. This man came out there in an all black like jogger.
Actually, he looks pretty fire. He looks like a UFC fighter now.
Does he?
Like he's from like Kyrgyzstan or something like that. Yep.
I'm like, this man got a haircut. This man got clothes on. I'm like, wow. You were talking about surprises, Triple H. That's how you do it. Bring a man back with a haircut and put some joggers on him.
Well, not to end the show like on a downer. It's thoughts and prayers to her boyfriend that she was beating his ass. But TNA opens investigation against Masha Slamovich after abuse accusation. This is on SportsIllustrated.com. Former TNA knockout world champion Masha has been accused of domestic violence by her former partner, independent wrestler Akira. The allegation surfaced on Tuesday morning with a friend of Akira took to social media to share dozens of screenshots and images portraying alleged conversation between Slamovich, real name Anna, and Akira Alexander. It is worth noting that the screenshots and photos have not been verified as of press time, though the link included in the social media post contained 114 images of alleged evidence. SI reached out to TNA management regarding allegations against Slamovich. A spokesperson replied with the following: "We take any allegations like this very seriously and have begun an internal investigation." They also reached out to Slamovich to offer her opportunity to speak, though we have not heard back. If we receive any formal response, we will update this article appropriately. Akira took to social media this afternoon on Tuesday and issued a lengthy statement. In it, he detailed elements of their relationship without addressing her by name. He claims he nearly committed suicide on 3 separate occasions throughout the alleged turmoils of the relationship. Yikes. Now, she's somebody who, of course, I guess this goes back to you never know these people. Part of the text message, he says to her, or she says to him, "You can keep both dogs. They're in your name, right?" He responds and says, "You hit me. You're wrong." Her response: "You cursed at me. That's why you got hit." I'm trying not to be immature here.
Yeah, please don't be immature.
He says, again, "Cool to see your claim intelligence and can't see metaphor. You hit me. You're wrong." He said, "I'm sorry I said anything. I just didn't want to stress you further and it didn't help. Nothing I say is going to cause you to change that and don't want you to fight it. I just let you destroy whatever you have if you want. Good night." She said, and then we can get off of this after this. She said, "Great. Maybe one day you'll learn to read the room, or at a minimum me. That was a time for you to shut up or say something nice and comforting. But no, you try to tell me what the fuck to do. It's my shit in my life. You don't understand me. You have no idea who I am or how to help or conform me. I'm embarrassed to tag with you. It's very frustrating that when I'm already so clearly worked up and overwhelmed and overstimulated all day and upset over a bad match and being inconsiderate, but whatever, who cares about that? You still managed to make it worse for me and make me lose it when I was trying just to keep it together till I go to sleep. You're supposed to be the one helping me, and all you do lately is make things worse, Alex." That is toxic as hell, yo.
Yeah, so that's abuse too, but like the hitting part is an absolute no. Like that, you don't have to touch anybody. But that is pretty toxic, that response right there. And
Wow.
And I know you're reading just that caption there, and I do feel like there can be times where if you read something out of context, that's just not always fair. Because if she's at a very low and she has expressed to him over these time period, "Here's my issues, just let me go to bed," that's one thing, but it doesn't sound like that at all. And for her to touch him and for him to address it and she try to no sell it, no pun intended, like that is not cool. People, keep your hands to yourself unless y'all get in the bedroom and they allow it. But other than that, do not be touching these people.
Real quick, check these two out. She said, or he said, "I just didn't want to destroy the glasses. I just didn't want you to destroy the glasses that you paid a lot of money and need them day to day, Ann. I'm sorry." Her response: this is right after the tweet or the text message I just read. "I'm tired of this. This isn't what I signed up for. This isn't what we used to be, and it's not going back to how it was, and it's only going to get worse, not better. I've been down this road before. All you do is be sorry. You're never able to just do the right thing in the moment." He said, "I didn't know I signed up to watch someone destroy things out of anger again, but I'm still here." She said, "If it's not directed at you, why do you care?" He said, "Because I care about you." She said, "I very clearly tried to not take it out on you, but you just kept pushing." He said, "I don't care about me." She said, "And then you are backing off. You started provoking me."
I'm happy. Yeah, they just need to separate.
Man, this is a different time we live in nowadays, man. This is a different time we get. This is 20 years ago. Like, look, I'm gonna keep it real. I gotta be the bad guy on these shows. I gotta say what it is, man. 20 years ago, you know what I'm saying? You got this woman beating your ass.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying. Look,
we're not gonna do that on the show.
Glad he didn't do anything.
We're not doing that.
You going on social medias, but you know what I'm saying, talking about how your woman is smashing you at the like, man, this is Wow. Like, is she like a martial artist, something like that? She like a trained fighter?
She beat his ass.
Yeah. Is she like a trained fighter?
I think so. Well, I mean, ask him.
I mean, that might be
are
it,
we
man.
serious right now?
That might be the problem, right? So she's like she's like a trained fighter. My man just not, you know what I'm saying? Because look, this is just a different world we live in, man. This is a different world. We got a lot of these guys out here. I'm not laughing. We got a lot of these guys out here getting beat up by their women. I'm smart. I'm a happy person.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys getting beat up by their women. Like, right? It's just number one. Should nobody beat up on nobody?
You shouldn't touch anybody, right?
Beat up on nobody, right? But with these the tables are turned nowadays.
Yeah,
man.
And I'm sure I'll speak for you. You are not saying he should have put hands on her. I know you're not saying that. I'm not saying that. But you are not going to hit me. You may get one hit off. I'm restraining you. Like, that's not happening. Everybody's got their situation, right?
How about the first time you get hit, you just leave?
This is the problem with these men nowadays, man. Y'all don't know how to be in control and be leaders in your own house. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to do mental problems, but a lot of these people don't have it. Like, this is young kid was trying to tell me the other day, right? This is an example. Not this is a poor example. This happened to this man, whatever. This young kid was talking about he was dating this woman, and they didn't have a good date because he needed her to tell him what she wanted. He wasn't a mind reader. He needed her to tell him what she wanted, right? Like, hey, if you want to go to this restaurant,
say it one more time. You say it one more time.
He needs her to tell him what she wants.
Got it. Okay.
He don't have to figure it out. Yeah, for dinner, like what the plans are, what she likes to eat, where she wants to go. He needs her to tell him, like, hey, what do you want to do? Like, where do you want to go? Like, he needs her to write the map for him. Back in the day, part of it was you got to learn your lady, you ask her some questions, and then you want to surprise her, right? Because you've been listening to her, you've been engaged. So you start actively taking her to the places she wants to go. You start doing the things you want to do because you've been listening. Part of your conversation is understanding her so you can get the girl. Never once like, hey, you know what? We're going out tomorrow. We have no plans. You tell me where we're going. You tell me where we're going and how we're spending the day. Like, that just seems like some whack stuff nowadays. And that's acceptable with these dudes nowadays. They just don't know how to lead and like, I just don't know, man. What's going on out here?
I do think there's a difference of if that's every time there's a problem. But there's a lot of guys who are worried about doing the wrong thing. So to that example, I ain't about to pick where we're going to eat because she ain't going to like it and I'm going to have to hear her mouth. I just rather her. I don't care because I don't care, right? I'm sure they got chicken, they got steak. That's the guy's mentality. Wherever she want to go, we'll go. But to your point, E, then that speaks to, well, maybe if you put a little bit of effort in, you kind of would know, right? And say, okay, between these two of your favorite restaurants, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? But yeah, I mean, you're not going to, you guys out here, we are not condoning for the last time.
And I feel like women get mean hands. I feel like if you don't lead enough with women, they kind of look down.
You can't,
like, right, and it becomes like women get mean. I feel like, I don't know, Rhodesia, you know what I'm talking about? I feel like if a woman has to lead too much in a relationship, it seems like it's never. They're a little too aggressive, and the dude's a little more docile, and the relationship always ends up being some kind of toxic. Like when in those kinds of situations, I don't know. It seems like
I think everybody is just so different, and I think who are you in your truest form coming into the relationship, and are you able to voice those opinions? Because there's going to be times in a long-lasting relationship, as you know, you've been with Katrina for a long time. There's going to be give and take, push and pull all the time. So there's going to be just a time period where you're like, I don't care, let's just whatever you want to do. And then there's going to be a time period where no, I'm going to do it, and this is I think it's just a back and forth. It's like a ping pong match, and that's actually the beauty in it, is because you get into a rhythm. Not that one person may get the point and score here and that person scores there. It's still a rhythm, just back and forth. But that is a whole deep conversation about a man leading, and I have a lot of very passionate points on that. That would not be here on this episode of 218.
Not
That's
on this
Freakin'
one
Wrestling.
though, right?
Not on
Not
this one. But
on this
I'm
one.
very passionate about some of those topics.
Yeah, you put hands on me before. You got to tell everybody.
I never put hands on you unless it was.
I remember that.
Unless
I
we-
remember that.
Unless
I
it was
remember
on-
that time. Yeah.
we was-
Because she did like
last
the, she
thing.
did like the she did the uppercut, right? She had the jump up uppercut.
Tiger
Is-
uppercut like Sagat in Street Fighter, big time. So WrestleMania pre-sale tickets went on sale. Somebody had asked a week ago or 2 weeks ago, the worry thought about how much they cost. I looked, same seat, literally the same seat that we sat in last year were available at the pre-sale. Of course, it's in the same building. Ticket is $502 more this year than it was last year
per night
for
or
that seat.
total?
No, total. Yep.
Okay, so 250-ish, 260-ish.
Yep, 250. So of course, I'm only going off of referencing because I know how much we paid for that particular ticket. Not to say every ticket went up $250 or whatever that looks like, but of course we knew that they're going to go up because they're still selling out. But shout out to everybody who's going. We would not be at WrestleMania this year. Tap me out on that one. Tap.
That's gonna be a Saudi though, and that'll be for another conversation. That's gonna be later. We'll tell that story later.
I am going to be front row at the Saudi show. E, you have to come with me too. 2027 front row Saudi WrestleMania. Nope. We'll talk about that.
Who's leading who then at that point?
We will talk about that. You best believe that.
Nope.
All right, we out, man. I am going to try. I know E said he don't think I would. He was pretty hype on it. Anytime he can talk positive about AEW, I'm gonna check it out. So I'm gonna see if I can fit it in like on Thursday, maybe. Try to watch All Out.
Steph's new champion, right?
Yeah.
Let's hold that. That's a conversation I want to have because Rhodesia, put that down for next week.
All right.
Because we talked about Triple H's booking. I want to talk about Tony Khan's booking.
Hey, but you know what though? Right before we sign off, is Stat winning championship. I knew something was up. I listened to the pre-show, and Bryan Danielson, he was like, man, the person that's going to least have the opportunity to win is going to be Stat.
He snoozed it off.
Man, he was going down. I was like, there's no way that she can win. She has too many distractions. This is not her time. I'm like, he was heavy-handed with. I'm like, dang, B. I wanted you got beef with her or something. But
now you know why, right?
Now you know why. Like, she ended up winning the championship.
I'm not going to speak on, but I have a really big problem with that finish.
Surprise!
And I'll just leave it at, I'll leave it at that.
I do have one thing to report because it is.
What you got? Oh, were these the rumors?
Sure.
Hell yeah.
Not. Okay, the fall equinox happened over this last night. I did say.
And what is the fall equinox? What does that mean?
Fall.
Tell us.
It's fall.
Okay.
That's it. So, I did say at the beginning of the summer that I was going to spend the summer to get smartened up on the Road Warriors. Unfortunately, I did not. So, I'm going to make a promise to the listeners and the viewers of the TFW pod. And I'm going to do my research now this fall. And by winter equinox, I will be able to be smartened on the Road Warriors so I can get the Road Warrior pop when we go on tour.
The good thing is you're entertained yourself. The same way Ia popped himself, you just popped yourself. And that's it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But I wanted to report back because in all fairness, I was honest about it. I did want to because that's something.
I thought it was like legit Rhodesia's rumors. That's why I gave you your music.
I never
That's
said
not
it was
a
Rhodesia
rumor.
rumors.
You said, yeah, sure.
No, the rumor is when we go on tour.
Hey, the Chipotle just showed up. I guess we just got the ring alarm.
Okay.
I'm eating as soon as we done. Typically you gotta wait till the food is. You too.
Ooh.
You too. I told you already. I'm coming to pop dick. Remember?
Oh Lord, I don't know what we talking about. Okay, this
see
time
my boy
sign off.
won.
I don't know what we
I'm lost.
talking
Booker
about.
T? Booker T,
My boy
man, you
lost,
said that.
actually.
Yeah,
Who's your boy?
You said you eat,
LA.
you popping things, man. All right, let's sign off.
Dick, man.
LA Knights
Lord.
at that pen.
Lastly, this is not a sports podcast, but if it was, I would put on for the Detroit Lions. Holy hell. I was so impressed and proud of them boys going out doing what they did on Monday night, which is why I didn't watch all the Raw. I was watching Monday Night Football. We here. If anybody was worried about week 1, we are here. We are back to where we need to be. Shout out to the Lions. And we got Pistons start in a few weeks. Training camp opens up for basketball. This is like the best time for sports. Baseball is going right into the playoffs. Football season getting in high gear. Basketball starting up. This is the good time.
Armageddon's about to happen. Actually,
Right.
the real Armageddon. Some people actually thought that real Armageddon was about to happen today. They thought the rapture was supposed to happen today.
No, we still
I guess
here.
we left behind.
Unless it happens late, and then you are never. We just did this great podcast, and nobody's gonna hear it 'cause
nobody
the
can
rapture's
hear
gonna
it.
hit at midnight. But if you heard this, hey, y'all made it.
Or
you
no,
didn't
we
make it.
didn't
One and
make
two.
it. We
Some
didn't
people
make
think,
it.
oh
We're
shit, we still
yeah,
here.
Yeah, this
Oh.
is now hell.
Then I hope
Shit.
to God y'all don't hear this. Then that means y'all made it. I'll be
Yeah.
okay with doing
Yeah.
an hour and 40 podcast so nobody will listen. That means everybody got to heaven.
I'll take that. I like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, Eve, if you tomorrow send the podcast for us to post it, and you don't ever get a response, brother, you didn't make it, and we did.
And we out, right?
We definitely out.